Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to Wapan! My name's Cal.
My name's Sunny.
Today's topic is...
What to do when you have a hobby burnout.
Or hobby burnout. You know, not like you have a hobby burnout like you would with a car.
What is that? No, I know, okay, but you don't burn your wheels as a hobby, do you? Like, that would be problematic.
So, we are both artists of a kind, and I used to study psych, so we've got some sort of expertise, kind of, maybe, when it comes to this. Essentially, I think I'll give my 2 cents, and I think that almost all hobby burnout, almost all art burnout, that sort of thing, has nothing to do with the actual art or the hobby.
Okay, so what are some factors?
I would say it's usually life. Like, for example, okay, here's the thing. When people take a look at things in psych, right, there is correlation is not causation.
Yeah.
So, for example, girls who own horses are more likely to live longer.
Why?
Okay, but see, that's the thing, right? If you look at it as girls who own horses live longer, right? You're like, oh, well,
I'm gonna give myself a horse?
Yeah.
And now I have eternal life.
Yes, but that's not quite how it works. So, the thing is that people who are wealthy enough to own a horse probably have a number of factors going on in their life that will make it so that they live longer.
Okay, but what does it have to do with the horse?
No, that's my point. The horse is the hobby.
Okay.
Correlation is not causation. You're not going to have hobby burnout because you did whatever it is that you did, and now all of a sudden the hobby is anathema to you. No, it's more likely because you've got other things going on in your life. Just like with health and the horse, right? The horse isn't the thing that makes you more healthy. It's just an indicator that you've got other good things going on in your life.
That, results in you having healthier habits that will make you live longer.
Yes.
It's an impression. It's yeah.
Yeah. So the first thing is, don't take a look at your hobby for what it's done wrong. Don't take a look at your hobby and say, what have you done? Why am I burnt out because of you? Take a look at your life and then go, all right, I've got girlfriend troubles, wife troubles, boyfriend troubles, husband troubles. I've got financial issues, whatever it is. There's probably something else going on in your life. And essentially, your hobby can no longer maintain itself as an escape from that. And now you have to deal with those issues.
I see. But I would have to disagree because it's not necessarily always a life thing. Most oftentimes, yes, maybe you're too busy with work. There's too much work to do. So you have to prioritize those things and hobby gets left in the dust corner. Or it could be the expectations that you have set yourself with the hobby. Like you might be saying, oh, look at all of this stuff that I need to get done. Look at my pile of shame. So much to do. And then you feel overwhelmed by that. And then you get burnt out. Or like you feel that you have this standard that you need to reach and you have all these other aspects in your hobby that you also need to improve on, and then you get burned out from that.
Essentially, you have great expectations upon yourself.
Yeah, and you do more and more and more, and then you're just like, this doesn't feel fun anymore.
Yes. Going along that branch that it doesn't feel fun anymore, I think that the other thing that burns people out isn't the great expectations thing, but instead is just bulk, just process. Like if you paint 100 Space Marines, unless you have real dedication, unless you have real fortitude, you're going to get pretty sick of painting Space Marines.
It's very repetitive work. You pretty much would feel like a factory worker, which in another podcast is what I said. I think it was the very first podcast when we were discussing this. I said, I don't want to paint Space Marines. Anything but Space Marines.
But I think that's more because that's the impression that you got, that you're going to have to paint 100 of them.
Perhaps, but I think it's not a very exciting model to me. But also because I don't play 40k, so I don't find a purpose for it, so I don't feel the need to paint it. And I think I also have the impression that it's a very boys thing. So like, okay, Space Marine is for boys can paint the Space Marines.
When it came to the Frostgrave stuff, and when it came to you actually playing things, you became a lot more excited. So I think if you actually had, say, something small like Kill Team where you can play Space Marines.
Yeah, and I think the Kill Team ones are a lot more exciting for the models. Or am I getting it mixed up because it's something
so they do
else?
release limited run things for Kill Team where the models are a lot more dynamic.
Yeah, like your Elucidian Star Striders, that one really catched my eye.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. But getting back on topic, it wasn't completely off, but getting back onto it, here's the thing. So essentially, we've identified 3 paths that go in 2 different directions. So one path is the life thing, right? When it comes to solutions to how to fix your life, I'm sorry, that's beyond the scope of this podcast, right? We can't fix your life. I'm sorry, dude.
We try with our soothing voices and many words.
Yeah, okay, that's about all we can offer. However, on the hobby side, right, it's split into 2. And these are the other 2 paths we were talking about. Great expectations, burnout from doing too much. All right, the too much one is the simplest to fix. Just do different things. Let's say you've got 100 Space Marines to paint. Okay, paint 10, do a tank. Paint 10, do a dreadnought. Paint 10, do whatever, right? Do something completely different so you don't lose your dang mind.
You need to give yourself some intermittent rewards for completing X amount so that you have that dopamine rush keep going in. If not, it's just negative emotion building on itself.
Yes. All right, the great expectations thing goes down 2 paths as well. One is I'm not a good enough artist. The other one is I've got too much stuff to do. With the I've got too much stuff to do one, easy solution. Basic planning. Get them into different groups. Have them be smaller, dealable packages.
With the great expectations one, sometimes it helps to just simplify things. So maybe don't go for like level 10. Try to go for maybe now I'm at level 4. Maybe let's try level 5, level 6. And then you simplify your upscaling. Don't just jump from level 1 to 10.
Yes, and on that point, we've also done a podcast on how to deal with upwards comparisons. Take a look at that.
Yeah, so what you want to do with expectations is to do in manageable portions. Don't go too far.
Yes. So that's it. We've got it sorted. Everyone will no longer have hobby burnout, and we definitely won't anymore, will we? Ever?
No, yeah, this is the go-to solution. Go out there and fix your problems. Yeah,
In other words, we're saying that even though you might have the solutions, some of the times you are still going to have that hobby burnout.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of taking things slow and not trying to get too far ahead of yourself, because we ourselves are getting some burnout right now with some very big projects that we feel overwhelmed by. But as we complete bit by bit, we can remind ourselves that we are getting things done. So don't feel too overwhelmed that you're not getting enough done.
But you know what does help getting projects done? By doing this one healthy hobby habit each day, even if you don't get some painting done.
Keep those brushes wet.
Keep fighting, brothers.
Keep fighting, sisters. You're not the only one.